Well, I would be a liar if I told you I wasn't that excited about this little capture on the trail cam. Not one, but two bobcats. This one here kind of takes a pose. I think it was around day 7 or 8 when I captured that bobcat on one of my other trail cams. So it's definitely been a while. Good morning, folks, and happy Saturday. Today is going to be day 51 working down here at the ranch. I got my box blade over the last couple days, and I am going to attempt to put it together this morning. So it's only about 10 pieces, so I'm hoping I can get it put together in a timely manner and see if I can get it hooked up to my four-wheeler and see if I can get it to get it hooked up and see if it works. I have a feeling I'm missing a couple parts. With my luck, it's not going to go very smoothly, but I'm gonna spend a little time trying to get it put together this morning. It's a nice day. It's supposed to be nice all day, so I'm hoping to get some other work done. If this thing actually does work and I can actually get it hooked up, that may change my plans a little bit, and I may end up spending a little bit of time trying to drag this area in here and see if I can get some of this bigger stuff cleaned up and the ground broken up a little bit. So day 51. I know I've said it a million times, but now I'm basically down to just working the weekends with the daylight savings. So hopefully we can get some stuff done today. I plan on being out here tomorrow, but let's get day 51 rolling. Here we go. Alright, so I ran into my first issue, and I had a feeling that this was something going on. This thing was laying loose in the box when I got it. That came with it, and I thought, oh, maybe I got to just attach that somewhere to something else, but you're basically, supposed to have a bolt, a couple washers, and a nut. So I'm missing a washer and a nut here. So this is how it's supposed to look here. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to do it with just the 4 and see if it'll hold up until I can come up with a washer and a nut for it. But I had a feeling I was missing some parts, so we're going to keep on rolling, see if we can get this thing put together and if it'll stay together. Here we go. I'm not sure I put that on there right. All right, according to everything I've read, that seems to be the way, so if not, may have to change it. Here we go. All right, so I think I just have a couple of steps left. I've got to put this handle on this here, attach this to here, and then I've got to figure out if I have what I need to actually attach it to my four-wheeler. But hopefully I've got what I need, or at least I know what I will need, because it doesn't look like I'm pretty much out of parts. So, but anyway, I'm gonna work on this probably another 10-20 minutes, see if I can get it to where I might be able to hook it up to my four-wheeler and drag it. Then we gotta get some work done. Here we go. So this is kind of what I was worried about. Oh, get off me, bud. This doesn't quite fit. It doesn't go all the way into there. I have to look at my ball hitch and see if maybe I might be able to put that on and put it through there. It'll just be kind of extend it out a little bit. So I'm going to try that real quick and see if that works. Here we go. Well, I won't lie. I kind of started thinking this was a bad idea to hook this thing up, but I just kept going. As I'm watching this now, it seems like my hitch needed to be up just a little bit higher. It looks a little bit low. I think I'm going to probably drag it for just a second just to see if it stays on there. But I have a feeling if I don't want to tear anything up too bad, I need to get that pin that goes in there, get one that's a little bit longer. But just trying to drag that thing like a half a foot, it's definitely digging into the ground. So that might actually work once I get a couple more pieces. And I need to get one more bolt. I need to get one more nut and washer for this one right here. So other than that, I think this thing's done. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna drag this for just a second. If it works, I might do it a little bit more, but I'm gonna take a break and then we're gonna start. I think we're gonna go ahead and start working on one of these little 3 islands over here. See if we can get it cleared out. It's still fairly early. Let me double check here. Yeah, it's like 11:30, so got plenty of daylight. We're gonna try to get some work done now that I've messed with this for about an hour and a half. Here we go. I think I'm just now realizing as I watch this video that it looks like I got into a pretty decent stump, and that's what switched it all sideways there. I kind of mention it here a little bit later, but they had the option for this thing to come with some wheels on it. And I think that's definitely what you need, is some sort of wheels to guide it. Yeah, I think it's like cocked at too much of an angle with that not being locked in there to kind of hold that piece in. I guess. I don't know if it's supposed to go sideways like that. It's kind of stuck. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pull and see what happens. Again, I think it's a little bit later that I realized that I'd gotten into a pretty decent stump, but I probably should have left well enough alone at this point. I'm pretty sure right there is where I bent that pin. I don't even think I realized it at first, but I'm not sure how I can get that thing out of there. If I can get it out of there somehow, I may be able to replace it with something a little bit stronger, because you would think that it would have been a little bit stronger than that. It was bent up like an S, and I had no choice but to leave it in there while I was taking this thing apart a little bit later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait until I at least have the proper part. This is the first time I've ever used one, so we'll figure it out. I'm gonna get her unhooked and take a break and get ready to do some work. Here we go. I told you folks before, I broke stuff on the first go. This thing here is bent in there. That is way crooked right there. So that thing is broke. Crap. I think I broke it on the first go. All right, well, that's 2 hours I'll never get back in my life. But I did learn now a valuable lesson. I think this is why they had another one that had wheels on it. I think you're supposed to have some sort of wheels on it so it doesn't just dig straight down into the ground. because it bent that part. Sorry, I'm like all wore out now. That took a long time, but I had to break it all down because that thing is like 200 pounds of awkward metal, because I can't get that piece off there because the pin bent. I meant to show you that. I kind of wandered off, lost in the woods there for a minute, but so that's why I had to break it all down so that I could actually pick it up and put it into the truck, because the sucker is heavy. Anyway, with all that being said, I think it's just a little bit after noon, and I think we got enough time to get into this island and maybe get rid of one of them completely, which will be definitely some good progress. So I'm gonna take a break for a minute. We're gonna get in here. I think I'm gonna start with this middle one, because out of the two, or excuse me, out of the other two, it seems like it might be the easiest. There's quite a bit of medium trees in here that I'm gonna have to definitely sawzall out and probably fight them to get out of there. I might be dealing with the same thing here, but either way, I'm gonna work on these islands a little bit, and we're gonna try to see if we can get rid of those today, at least one of them. Here we go. All right, I kind of remember I opened up this pocket over here. This one here looks like it might be fairly easy. I could get in there and get a lot of it with the brush hog before I've got to get in there with the sawzall and clippers. So this right here is where we're going to start.
You folks still awake out there? About 16 minutes into your nap, are you? I'll tell you what, this section took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, to be honest with you. There's quite a bit more trees in there than I was really hoping I was going to have to deal with, but between this and the box blade taking a long time, this ended up being a pretty long video. So if you want to continue taking a nap, I completely understand. If it helps any, we are now at least halfway through this first part of the island, so we're getting close.
All right, folks. We got this at least halfway done. It was a little bit more of a monster than I was expecting, but we got all this cleared out there, that cleared out, and we're going to attack that here in a minute. And it's about 2 o'clock, so I got about 2.5 hours. I'm hoping I can knock that out in about a half hour, 45 minutes. So I put a video up last night of 5 methods for the indigenous folks early 1700s, and one of the things they did was they would drill a hole in a stump and put an ember in there and burn it out from the inside, and that apparently took care of all the rooting systems that are connected to it. So you go in and just scrape it out, And then it's supposed to be really good for, you know, you take that stuff you scrape out and then you know, put it in your garden so you can grow stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. There was another step that was called girdling, and it's basically what they would do. I'm gonna not face you in the sun here, but they cut a section out of this tree just down to the, you know, take the first layer off of there, first and second layer, you know, down to the green basically, and you leave it, you open it up and leave it exposed. Well, it apparently starves it of nutrients, and the tree eventually dies over like 1 or 2 seasons, kind of depending on where you're at. But all that stuff was pretty interesting to me because, you know, I always kind of wondered how they did this stuff before all the fancy tools and things like that. So those are a couple things I'm going to try down here. That tree that I just showed you on the girdling, I think that's going to be one that I test out. So then when that tree falls, I can basically I should be able to kind of do the next step and burn out the stump. And that may be a way that I can kind of slowly but surely clear out some of these bigger trees in here that I want to get rid of. But anyway, I thought that was fun, so I may implement some of that down here. For now, we got a couple hours left. I'm going to keep working on this little spot, and if I have time, I may start whittling away at one of these other little islands here, because I feel like this little section right here is kind of at the top of the list of things I want to get done here in the next couple of weeks. And of course, I don't know what that was, maybe a dog. That burn pile is getting bigger than the one I got over there, so I'm going to need to get rid of that at some point in time here pretty quick. And then hopefully what that'll also do, I can spread it out a little bit once it gets lower, and I'm hoping it'll burn out. There's a lot of little tree stumps sticking up out of the ground, so I want to try to get rid of them. And since my thingamajig box blade thing over there didn't seem to work, and I think it's broke, so back to the drawing board on that. Take a break real quick. We're gonna get back after it. Here we go.
We did capture a couple exciting videos, I'm just saying.
Feel free to help me anytime, man. You kind of just been standing around not doing much all day, so anytime you're ready. Just can't get any good help anymore these days. All right, folks. Well, came in here and cleaned up this first little island here. Got it all the way cleared out. I went ahead and cleaned up around the trees, so that thing was already done, and whatever's left I can get with the weed eater when I come out here and weed eat. But I think probably what I'll do is the same thing. I may do these two stumps at the same time and drill a hole in them and try to get them burned out of there. So we'll see what happens. But this now is all cleared out, And we are down to two. We are down to two little islands left. I say little. I hope that these are not as hard as that one. That one was a little bit tougher. I know this one's going to be a pain because it's got this little tree, that kind of scraggly tree that's going everywhere in there and caught up and everything. But anyways, so I think I was gonna start in on another one of these islands here, but I think I'm gonna hold off. And I'm a little whooped, I ain't gonna lie, but I think what I'm gonna do is come in here and clean up around these two trees, or these kind of two areas of trees, and then probably we'll go ahead and go get the SIM cards out of the trail cams, because I'll be out here tomorrow, but I won't mess with them tomorrow, and then I'll have another full week before I come back out and check them. But so I'm going to take a break real quick. We're going to get this cleaned up. We're going to grab the SIM cards, and then I'm probably going to call it a day. So here we go. I think I underestimated the trees, these little trees here. This was a mess in here. There's all this stuff growing inside and off the trees on the inside. They're all kind of wrapped up in these trees over here, but like this one looks like, I mean, that one's clipped at the top there. That one's clipped at the top, but then there's like almost trees, branches growing straight up out of it. That little thing right there was a mess. But anyway, let me step back a little bit. So that looks a little better. Now kind of all these trees in here are pretty well cleaned up. All the little stuff's cleaned off the sides of them. Anything that's kind of still hanging around, I'll probably clip it with my weed eater. That might be what I actually do tomorrow. We're gonna kind of see how that goes. We got a little bit of a cold snap, but then it warmed right back up. So anyway, I think as far as the work goes today, that's gonna be it. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna girdle, I know that sounds a little bad, I'm gonna girdle this tree over here. Golly, I hope I'm saying that right. Anyway, I'm gonna do it on this tree right here, and we'll see how it works over time. We'll see where we're at here, you know, as the weeks go by. And first time ever doing this, so we'll see if I do it right.
Scarring is absolutely what I should have been saying this whole time instead of girdling. And I feel like this next little segment where I talk, I wish I could have go back and redo it. I'll just put it like that, folks.
All right, so there's my half-ass attempt at girdling. So I'm not sure if I went deep enough, if I did enough, if I needed to do more or go a little deeper. But you know, don't tell your friends to watch me to figure out how to girdle trees, okay? I appreciate it. All right, well, folks, it is starting to get a little bit dark. Sun is starting to go down. We're gonna go out here and get these SIM cards and see if we caught anything.
Scarring. I should have been calling it scarring the whole entire time. I believe this round of collecting SIM cards is my most favorite time ever of collecting the SIM cards out of the trail cams. I caught a lot of pretty cool stuff I've never caught before. Well, I was bragging on this camera on the last video, talking about how it always caught something. This is the first time in a minute I didn't catch anything on it. Got some pretty close quarters in here with this big pile of trees that I dragged out from that trail. I feel like somebody needs to get over there and maybe get that cleaned up or burned off. So this camera that we're getting ready to come up to is the one we used to have a whole bunch of luck on. I'm like 0 for 4, and I'm convinced there's something wrong with it. The truth of the matter is I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't exactly see what it was saying. I noticed it was coming on, and I think there was like a ER5 or error 5 code, and I think that I just assumed that it said it was on. But I have caught nothing on it probably the last 4 attempts, and that includes not even me coming up to it or walking away from it. So I'm going to check it out tomorrow when I go out there. Well, folks, believe it or not, we did not capture any crows back here eating on this corn. It's actually the first time in a while that didn't catch anything out here. I definitely think I want to spend a weekend or at least a day out here clearing this area out a little bit, getting rid of some of the bigger trees and opening it up a little bit. So on this next camera coming up, I was actually editing the trail cams when I was watching Shane's video when he was talking about how windy it was. I had like 65 captures on this camera that were all wind related from last Sunday. Believe it or not, that's with the volume down almost as low as I can have it without there being any sort of volume at all. So that wind was definitely a whipping. This one worries me because it's right in the sun. Well, we'll see what happens here. We did at least get one capture back here on the camera that wasn't wind after going through about 65 files of wind. So we got one deer come through, which we actually had one on the camera the other day coming through that little area. So that's pretty cool. Well, here we go, folks. We are getting ready to go get the trail camera that was absolute gold. One of the interesting parts of this whole thing is that these videos and captures were actually caught on there a few weeks ago. Now, there was the time that I didn't look in the right file, but I was pretty sure I looked at all of those videos and put them up here the last time that we went out and did the trail cams. But somehow or another, a bunch of these captures were from a couple of weeks ago. So either way, it was really exciting. So I turned the volume completely up just to see if I could hear anything. Like, you can't even hear these cats moving up on the camera. But I thought it was pretty cool that not only did one show up, but 2 of them. And they seemed to hang around for a minute. It's kind of interesting I didn't catch them on my Vosker. They may not have went over that way, but it seems like that's the direction they were heading in. I haven't seen that bigger buck in a minute. I'm not sure if somebody got him or not. This one here has been kind of hanging around a couple days, though, it seems. Got an armadillo and a raccoon. And this is the first time I've ever caught a coyote on a game cam. I'm not sure this squirrel wants to hang around with that coyote and them bobcats hanging around. I'm just saying. So yeah, I'd say in all the years of having trail cams, this is by far my biggest bounty and the most diverse. Let me get that out there. Definitely haven't ever seen a coyote before. I did get the bobcat a little ways back, but I only had a picture of it because the videos weren't working. So,
all right, folks, we got one more trail cam to go. This is the one on the corner over here. We picked up quite a bit coming through there. It's probably hit almost every other time. Day 51. Got quite a bit done today. I mean, you know, we got 2 more of them islands to get knocked out, but that was good getting it knocked out. All right, let's grab this.
So yeah, here we go again. This one here is like 4 for 4 or close enough. They've definitely been coming down that trail. I'm almost wondering if they have been for a while. I've only had recently put up a game cam over here just facing down there. So it's definitely paid off.
All right, that one is set and ready to go. So yeah, we got one of these islands done. I spent about 2 hours working on that box blade. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. It's broke for one thing. But I think I need something with like wheels to kind of guide it across the ground, because that just dragged into the ground and bent that pin really quick like. But anyway, this is starting to open up a little bit more. We got 2 more little islands here, and that's done. I may come out and weed eat tomorrow, kind of knock down some of this little stuff coming up out of the ground. But kind of like I was saying earlier, we got a cold snap, and then it warmed right back up to, I think it was close to 80 today. So I don't know if this stuff's going to keep growing in or not, but I'll probably come out here and at least weed eat at some point in time in the next couple weeks. It's not completely out of hand. So tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I may keep working on these islands here. I feel like it's either that, or I go over here where we cleared out last weekend and basically clip all the little small stuff around away from the big trees. But either way, I'm gonna get down here tomorrow. I kind of wussed out last weekend because it was like cold and windy, and I didn't want to spend 4 hours in the cold wind weed eating. So I talked myself out of it, but I'm gonna make sure to talk myself into coming down tomorrow for day 52. We're gonna figure something out. We'll get something done for sure. I appreciate all of you following me along on this journey. Appreciate all the likes and subscribes and all that. And I hope you all are having a great weekend. We will probably catch you tomorrow. Have a good one.